Greetings, friends. It's me, Raymond, and I just wanted to come on and say a few words. This is a response to Chris, death to the USA or whatnot. I just got out of the Dollar Bazaar, and I got these really cool sunglasses for $2. But when I got to the register, it was only $1. It was pretty awesome. So I was worried about being cool, and I guess now I really am cool because I got these $2 cool sunglasses. But I just wanted to say that ever since the election, and even before the election, you're going to see a lot of apocalypticism and a lot of apocalyptic messages coming out about doom and gloom from the far right. Yeah, there were apocalyptic messages of doom and gloom coming out from the far left and liberals during the presidency of George Bush, which was a horrible period, in my opinion. So, of course, now we have elected a Democratic president, and now, of course, Republican far rights are going to be worried about it, joining up with militia groups, stockpiling weapons, and preparing for the end of the world and the apocalypse. I just don't see it happening, friend. This is a democracy, and Christopher L. is saying, you know, people will be true Christians if people were actually getting killed. He needs to move to Iran, because that's a theocracy and a dictatorship, and people are killed. But the problem with that is those groups even become so fragmented that, you know, you might be in a group of 30 who think you're the only ones, and you run around killing everybody else because everybody else is wrong. So, defining who is really a true quote-unquote religious, insert your religion here, person, is pretty hard to do, even for the most pious and righteous people to do. So, I don't know if the whole Christian utopia could ever come about. I vote. That's my duty in America for democracy. And you vote. You can vote. And that's how we change things. We can protest, and we can talk and share ideas freely. And just because we're allowed to do that, it doesn't mean that everything's going haywire. Because in that, it creates its own, for a certain amount, creates its own checks and balances, which is a good thing. Democracy is a huge experiment. And I would fight for America. And I would. I did not, because I don't think I'm good enough. But how do I fight for America? I support the troops. I support the guys who are out there getting shot at. And I vote. And I can vote to bring those guys back home. And I can vote and call up my congressman, give my opinion, and change policies. It doesn't have to be a religious theocracy to do that. And just because a theocracy is not part of our government, it doesn't mean it's the end of the world. Democracy has always been an experiment. And we try different things. If they don't work, the people vote. We're not stuck with the same guy for 70 years. So, I don't know what Christopher L.'s problem is. He can still go to church. He can still pretend he's a real Christian, where everybody else is wrong, and feel good about that, and convince other people to be real Christians, whatever that means, in this country. And he can share his views online without being censored like they do in China, where you type in, a search, you might not get everything. And here, it's not like that. There's some stuff that goes on. It's kind of shady, but it all equals out in the end, because once the guy's in power, there's always another guy trying to figure out how to undermine that. And that's what I like about our system. So I think that it's constantly evolving. We try different things. Not everything works. And when they don't, we can go back and try to fix it. And I don't know. I just happen to agree with you. I'm kind of optimistic about it. I like to think that it's not the end of the world. And humans have a lot of potential as long as we keep testing things out and figuring out what works and what does not. And I don't think that a religious theocracy is the answer and will create this perfect utopia. You'll never have a perfect utopia. I mean, even in democracy, there's always going to be problems. And it's the people, you and me, are the government, and it's our job to work out those issues and I don't believe the gods have anything to do with it. If the majority of people are Christian, then yes, religion is a part of it. If the majority of people are Mormon, yes, then religion is a part of it. If the majority of people are, say for example, Islamic, you say, well, will Islam ever be a... Yeah, it can be. We can see a lot of votes starting to go towards the Islamic trend because a lot of votes went towards the Christian trend. So it all happens as a part of democracy. And like I said before, checks and balances, very important. Sometimes elections go along ethnic lines. You see Latinos and other used to be minority groups coming into the majority and changing the vote. That's why I would fight for America. And I do at the ballot box. Not from the pulpit, not from spreading apocalyptic propaganda, although it's fun and it works, scaring the public. Why not? It's worked. But rather, going in, if I don't like something, calling up my congressman, being active, maybe demonstrating a little bit if you need to sway public opinion. But I don't think that apocalypticism and just throwing our hands up, stockpiling weapons, and joining militia groups in Montana, and sending governors messages to step down is a way of going about doing it. I think that you do that at the ballot box. And I think that politicians are more afraid of ballot boxes than they are of getting letters that they should step down. But take care, friends. And remember, if everybody's thinking alike, then somebody isn't thinking.